Hi, this is Omar at Top 5 E-Bikes, and in this video, I'm going to go over child seats. I got an iBert, I have two different Yepp Maxi seats, and I'm going to tell you how I've used them on the Powered Bikes Wagon4, on the KBO Breeze Step Thru, on the Aventon Aventure, and on the Ride1up 700 series. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to Top 5 E-Bikes, press subscribe right now. Also like this video if you end up liking it. I did want to mention that there are affiliate links in the description of this video and all of our videos, and we do get a small commission if you end up buying. So if you end up buying any of these products and you think we helped you make that decision, use one of the links in the description and we get a small commission, and that allows us to continue making videos like this. So thanks for your support, and again, if you use one of those links, we'll get a small commission. Alright, so let's start talking about child seats. We're going to start off with infant seats. What we have here are two of the seats that I have that I use for my older daughter when she was younger, and then now my younger daughter who's about 1. So this is an iBert, and this is a Yepp Maxi. So both really good rated child seats. This one, the Thule Yepp one, is definitely higher. It has better ratings than this iBert. So there is a big price difference in these two seats. This child seat's around $100, a little bit over $100. This one's about $200 plus, so double the price. This Yepp seat does have higher ratings than the iBert. I will say though, and I used the iBert for a couple years. It's perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues. My daughter seemed to like it. It was comfortable for her. It's got the shoulder straps, and then it's even got a little button. It's got a steering wheel for her, so she really enjoyed the steering wheel. So it was fun for her. Obviously, it was nice for me because I would have control of her as I was riding. Same thing with the Yepp Maxi. Again, you got the straps, and you have your child in front of you, and you're able to kind of control them. But I think both of these are good seats. I now am using this seat, the Yepp Maxi, just because I think because it has higher ratings and because I trust Yepp. And I have another Yepp seat for my older daughter. And once I was willing to pay a little bit more, I ended up going with this seat. But I think if you were on a lower budget and you didn't ride that much, the iBert would be perfectly fine. So as far as how you attach these type of seats to your bike, pretty similar for both of them. So you would have to attach something to the headset or the head post, whatever you'd like to call it. Here for the Thule one, I actually have an additional one, but this is what you actually attach to the bike itself, and then the seat will then clamp into this piece that's sticking out. So then there's a release, a latch that goes in there, and then it'll securely place the seat and it won't move. Pretty simple to attach. The one thing I'd say about this particular child seat is you have to make sure that this piece in the seat actually fits on your type of bike. It won't fit on every single type of bike. There are a ton of articles out there. You should also check with the manufacturer, so with Yepp, to make sure that your bike that you'll be able to attach this type of seat to your bike. So that's the one bit of advice I would tell you, is just make sure that it fits. So it's pretty similar for the iBert seat. So you have this attachment, this metal attachment that goes on the headset or the head tube. So you attach it on here with an Allen wrench, and then the actual seat will slide onto it. I will say that the one thing about this particular infant seat is that it's just like really clunky in that you have to slide it on, and you usually have to give it a couple pushes, and then there is a security little pin that you would put there so it won't slide off. But again, it's not as nice, or it doesn't go in. It's not with the Yepp. It's pretty easy. It just clicks on. You're like, okay, it's on. With this particular one, you got to give it a couple pushes, and then it's secure. So now that I talked about how you actually attach them to these different bikes. Let's talk about the bikes that I have it on. So this is a Ride1up 700 series. So this is a commuter bike. I just did a full review on this. We'll link it in the description. This is a perfect type of bike for an infant seat, in the sense that you're going to be on a paved road. You're probably not going to be going too fast if you're using this with your child. And then In this particular model, we have the step through. It's even, you know, it's just easier to get on and off of, so you're not going to have any trouble, even if you have your infant on the front of the seat. The iBert, I have it on a KBO Breeze step through. Again, a step through makes it easy to get on and off. At one point, I actually used to have an iBert on a beach cruiser. It wasn't an e-bike, it was a beach cruiser. And I had a lot of trouble actually getting on and off of the bike because it wasn't a step through. So just keep that in mind, depending on the type of bike that you have, it may be easy. And then also the other thing about these type of seats is because it's in the front, one thing that's important too is I think making sure that you have room between the seat and between your seat and the actual child seat. Because it could, you know, if this is further back and your seat is closer to the actual child seat, it could get difficult for you to actually move and maneuver and make turns and whatnot. So just keep that in mind also. But yeah, these are both great e-bikes for these type of child seats. All right, so now that we talked about the infant seats, let's talk about child seats for your kids that are a little bit older and weigh more. So this is Yepp Maxi. This is by far the most popular child seat that's out there. This is the one that I use. There's a couple other popular child seats. We have another video that has the Belelli seat. So we have one of the Aventon bikes where our friend is riding with his daughter, and that's a Belelli seat. That one's also pretty popular. That one's featured in one of our articles, which we'll link in the description. There's also the Burnley seat. So there's a lot of popular seats. I would say that the Yepp Maxi is probably one of the most popular ones, and I don't say it because I own it, but it just, in reviews, it tends to be the most popular one. Now, there's two versions of the Yepp Maxi. This is the version that you can put on a rack or on a bike that's built or integrated for these type of seats, which is like the Wagon, which is the bike that we have here. There's also a version of the Yepp Maxi that you can attach to the frame of the bike. That's not the one that I've bought. I bought the one that goes either, again, on an integrated bike or on a rear rack. So on a bike that's where it's already integrated or where it's built for these type of seats, it's fairly easy to just put this seat on. These type of bikes like the Wagon, and there's some other cargo type bikes that are actually already built for you to add these type of seats. And what's cool about the Wagon4 is that you can actually attach two Yepp Maxis. So you can actually put two of these, they'll fit in this back rack. And you don't have to do anything. You just buy this type of seat and you just put it in here. There you go. It's supposed to be easy, but it's easy enough, right? And then you just lock it in place and that's it. So it's pretty easy. You don't have to do anything. You buy the bike, you have the bike, you get the seat, and then you just put it in there. And then you lock it in, and then you can start riding with your kids. So now the other way you can use this type of seat is if you have a bike that's rated, if the rear rack and the bike itself is rated to actually carry a decent amount of weight, you can add an attachment to your rack. This is an old attachment, and I have this. I'm using this to show you, but I actually have the new version of the Yepp attachment here, which is the easy, I think it's an easy fit rack attachment. And you can put this directly on your rack, and then this allows you to then put this type of seat, the Yepp Maxi, on this attachment. So there's two types of bikes that you could use this on. You could use this on one that's already integrated, like a Power Bike's Wagon4, or you can also add this attachment from Yepp to your rear rack. The one thing I would caution you about just in general, and this is more not specific to child seats, but if you're going to be putting weight on the back of your bike, just make sure that you read the manual of your e-bike and the rear rack they're using to make sure that it's rated for whatever weight you're going to carry. So, yeah, this type of seat is pretty standard, and it should be, as long as your bike is rated to carry some weight in the back, you should be able to ride with your child. So one note about this bike, this is an Aventon Aventure, fat tire e-bike, one that's supposed to be used for trails. You're probably wondering, why would you ever take a child on this bike? I've ridden with my older daughter, who's a little bit over 3, on this e-bike, and I have not taken her on trails, and I would not take her on a trail. At least I wouldn't. Not to say that there's any. If you want to take your children on trails, that's perfectly. I think if you feel comfortable with it, you should do it. I personally don't want to take my daughter on a trail, or either one of my daughters on a trail. But I've used this bike on paved roads, so I did want to mention that. When I've used a fat tire e-bike and I've been riding with my children, it's been on paved roads. Just like when I'm on the Rad Wagon, obviously this doesn't have a suspension, so I have to be in a paved road. But I did want to mention that this is a beast of a bike that you would normally think of using in dirt, in trails and kind of, like difficult trails. When I've used the Yepp Maxi on this bike, it's been 100% on paved roads. Let us know if you have any questions or comments about any of these child seats or any of these e-bikes and how these different seats work with these different bikes. Most of the bikes that we reviewed, I've tried to put on one of these seats, and I can give you my advice and my feedback. Also want to mention that you should check with the manufacturer, both of the bike and the seat, to see if that particular seat actually should be on that particular bike or not, and to make sure that it's safely on there. Subscribe to Top 5 E-Bikes. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, social media. Thank you for watching, and again, let us know if you have any questions or comments.